you gotta be you. Sometimes I need privacy too. Yeah, you know I ride. You know I ride. And you know you ride for me too. Yeah, you know I. Look, you like getting that hit for real. When it's me and Murray, just us, we chill. I'm in a rush to get off to get you. Never ever had to floss to get you. Pay the dues that it cost to kiss you. Rug burns on the carpet with you.
Oh yeah. Come on, dog, throw this in there. Had to dedicate this to the homie out of New Orleans. Break. Said she wanna bump that. You wanna do it? Go ahead, do it. If I sit around.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome to another edition of Living a Rich Life. I'm your host, Rich James, and we are a talk show who believe in change. And we focus on 6 elements here on this show: good health, strong relationships, financial freedom, goals and achievement, extraordinary experiences, and philanthropy. And to help me do that, I generally bring in different guests. We talk about their life experiences, some of the things that changed and impacted their life, and we have a lots of fun here on Living a Rich Life talk show. So with that being said, let's talk about it. Today, our featured guest is a Baltimore native. He received a BFA in fashion design at the Savannah College of Art and Design. He is known for creating an instinct to defy all social norms, and as a result of that notion, birthed a company that empowers all to go against the grain using sophistication and grit, called the Treasing Toting Company. He has also created a second venture based on that same notion called Bushlers of Baltimore, a favorite place of mine where I get my work done these days. This guest has embraced the skin he is in and hopes to help others find the same happiness in what that generally love and in desire, making others feel good about who they are and respecting the art of perfection through garments. Please welcome Master Tailor. Let me say that again. Please welcome Master Tailor, Mr. Aaron Jones.
Thanks for having me, my man.
All right, my man. How was that intro?
It was great. I love it.
All the things that are kind of just based on your bio and my interaction with you.
Looks great, man.
I said, hey.
Couldn't have said it better, man. I got chills.
Okay, well that's what's up. That's what's up. So we're gonna get started. What we generally do in this show, there's one important question I always ask at the end of during our Living a Rich Life recap.
Okay.
But what I like to do is get to know you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
I know you. We had some interaction. We do a little business together. But there's folks out there want to kind of know what your story is.
Okay.
And this is where the platform we use to kind of tell that story.
Sweet. Let's do it.
All right. So first and foremost, when it comes to Aaron Jones, tell us about Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones. So I'm, as you mentioned, a Baltimore native. Born in the west side of Baltimore.
Okay.
But I lived in all corners, man. East side, west side, Baltimore County, you name it. My grandparents came up during the Great Migration from Greenville, North Carolina.
Okay.
So when they got here,
Southern boy.
Yeah. I used to go down during the summers, chase chickens and hang out get away from the city life. You know what I mean?
Right. Been there, done that. Understand that.
But also, my grandparents were really big on self-entrepreneurship. I know it's something that people are talking about a lot lately. Now it's like a thing that people like, black people need to own their own things. But my grandparents have always instilled that in me, like from selling icy cups out the back door of the crib and they were Arabers. They used to tar roofs in the winter. They used to cut Christmas trees down and sell them to the neighborhood.
So let me ask you a quick question here. So with that being said, because when you think about our grandparents, right, there was that phase of black owned. That's what we do. That's nothing strange.
Absolutely.
Right? Then I think there was that period of, you go to school, you go to college, you get a good job. And then to me, it resurfaced again, so to speak, that, hey, let's own some stuff, black folks, and continue to do that.
And I think the main thing was like, Like when I was coming up, my grandparents, and just like you mentioned, they enforced to go to school because they weren't issued those opportunities to go to school.
Right.
Like they had to learn as much as they can out in the street, and having the education was like top tier. Thurgood Marshall and all the Black Supreme Court justice leaders and Martin Luther King and all these great leaders were heavily educated.
Right.
So now that everybody has a chance to go to school, everybody has the opportunity to go to school. Black African Americans, Latinos, every minority you can name. Now it's about like, well, let's get back to being entrepreneurs.
Right.
So it's like recycling itself. You know what I mean? Like people are telling the story about not being self-sufficient, and now that it's here, people are taking advantage of it.
Absolutely. And like you said, the cycles, kind of like bell bottoms. Folks be thinking bell bottoms is something new.
It's coming back.
It's coming back. It's coming back. Okay. All right. Well said. So tell us a little bit about your education. So again, a BFA. So I'm familiar with an MBA. BFA, Bachelor of Fine Arts. Fine Arts. Okay. All right.
So when I graduated from Northwestern in 2005, and then when I left there, I could have played sports. I was a football player with All City. I was supposed to either go to Colgate or Notre Dame.
Oh.
And
both good schools.
Yeah, great schools. But I love the game, but I didn't have a passion for it to do it forever.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
That I do.
And I've always been an artist though. Like I've always been like drawing on my clothes, cutting holes in my jeans, and ruining the $200 Jordans I just got, like pissing my mom off. You know what I mean? I've always been rebellious in that nature. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to art school, and I think I want to be an architect. I had this fascination with buildings. Like we live in a city that doesn't get enough respect for the architectural, development and respect that it should get. You know what I mean? Some of the most beautiful buildings in Baltimore, like unrecognized. We drive past them every day.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, I used to come to Harbor and I would sit down outside and sketch buildings, sketch the skylines. You know what I'm saying? I had a fascination with shapes and perspectives. So I was like, I'm gonna be an architect.
Right.
And then when I got to college, I was like, man, I can draw and I can build these models, but I hate physics. I was like, I can't date enough women to get me through physics. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna, I can sew. I've been sewing. I've been, taught by my mom just in the house off season of sports. She would sew just to make the ends meet. And then one summer she couldn't really send me to camp. So I was like, can I use this machine?
Right.
So she was like, this is perfect. Took me to Joann's. I bought some fabric. She bought me some stuff I wanted to put together, and I sewed all summer.
Wow.
And that's how it started, man.
Wow. Now that's as much as we've talked down at Bushlers of Baltimore, which we will get to.
Yeah.
I never know. I know. I'm always making moves.
Yeah.
And, and you're always back there working.
In and out, man. Yeah.
That's crazy. So that's so your mom's actually got you.
Yeah.
Really, as a result of not going to camp.
Right.
And now look where it's taking you.
Yeah, it's just
two companies.
Yeah, it's amazing, man.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked. Not shocked. I'm surprised again that we just haven't had that time to sit down
talk about it.
And talk about that. So as we talk about Trees and Toting Company, which your friend Jason Bass,
best friend, man, my right hand, dude.
You guys started, and he was actually premiered my show.
Yep.
So that was pretty good, and I knew I was going to get you both guys on at that point in time. So tell me when did you start the Trees and Toting Company?
So when I finally got out of college, during my whole college career, I was an accessory miner, so I made bags.
Okay.
I did like leather bags and shoes. I mean like heels, boat shoes. Like I had all the top of the finest, the top of the art machinery to build anything I wanted.
Okay.
So when I got out, I was a fashion major and I focused on tailoring. That was like my focus. So everything I did was suits or, really eccentric outlooks on what suits should be, especially for women. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I kind of changed it up again. That was my senior collection. And then when I finally got home, after interning, I interned at Ralph Lauren while I was in Under Armour, and while I was in SCAD, I interned at Under Armour and Ralph Lauren.
Okay.
And when I got home, I was just like, now what? Just like every college student, you end up working a dead-end job. So I'm working at CVS.
What's next?
Yeah, so I'm working at CVS, and I'm working on a water taxi, and I lived in Fells Point at the time, and I was really struggling. Like, what am I going to do in my career? You know, at that point, like, the thing about artists people don't understand is, like, we are so wired to be creative. We have no concept of how to make money from being creative.
Right.
So while I was trying to figure that out, I was still on the side doing prom dresses in Mom's house. We're working on a water taxi. I lived in Fells Point, so I would hang out in the bars all the time. Mm-hmm. And then one night I went into my favorite bar, my watering hole, the Blarney Stone, and I run into Jason. My boy is telling Jason about me. My boy that I see in the bar every day is like, yo, you need to be Aaron. You need to be Aaron. And I walk in the door 20 minutes later. Mm-hmm. And Jason's like, yo, what's up, man? Let's have a shot. You know how Jason, you know.
right.
Yo, let's drink. What's up?
Right.
So I'm like, I kind of like this dude. That's a bet. So we have a good time. We drink, and he's telling me about, you know, his ventures and what he wants to do, and, you know, talking about how I might be able to assist him, and, you know, how we could work together.
Right.
And I wasn't really buying it. He wasn't really buying it. We're like, yo, let's just drink. Like, you know, we both really not into it at the moment. And then one day, my boy was like, yo, you call Jason? And I was like, no. He's like, you need to call him, man. So I was serious.
Right.
And he said the same thing to him. And we linked up. And then after that, we were like two peas in his pot.
Right.
You know, like we had the synergy was so like in line. We realized that, you know, we were living in the city, and our social circles, we were growing out of them.
Right, okay.
You know, like we were realizing that every time we wanted to go left, our friends would give us a hard time about trying to go right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No,
like, oh, like you want to, like, why you want to go down there and drink Manhattans? Why you want to do this? That's crazy. That's white people stuff. And it's like, what does that mean, dog?
Yeah.
Right? So
I know what you mean.
That's how we birthed treason. It's a running joke. We say, yo, we're going to commit treason tonight. You know, like we want to do everything that you're not doing. You know, we want to explore as much as possible. We want to heighten our experiences. We want to go against the grain. We want to be rebellious, but we want to go be rebellious against what society thinks that we should be based on what we look like,
right,
and how we dress and how we talk. Like we want to open the horizons to everything.
Right.
So we did it through the avenue of fashion and travel.
Right.
You know, like what better way to explore than to have a traveling gear. So.
Yes.
It's treason.
And let's so I like that. So I never really asked that question in terms of, you know, how the name come to be.
Yeah.
I just knew that the bags were high quality.
Right.
I knew the bags were
much
nice.
appreciated.
I know I have two of them. I need a new one. I just knew again that, hey, this was some good stuff. And doing what I call living a rich life recap. It's more living a rich life moment in time. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about where we actually first met.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember, but
I probably don't.
I get all my guests that come on here. They be like, "What?"
Well, that was probably not in my right state of mind. But I was there though.
Yeah, well, you'll be surprised more than you know when I tell you.
Okay.
I like to tell folks I'm the most known unknown person there is.
I love it.
There is. So, but we're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it going. So I love that. So we talked about treason toting for a second. Uh-huh. Now, how can folks purchase a bag, or tell us a little bit, what the website or any other?
So right now, I've actually put things on stop for now.
Okay.
Mainly because since Jason's no longer part of the business, I wanted to take the time to kind of redevelop what the messaging was for the brand. Okay. Not only that, I wanted to make sure the messaging communicated through the design of the products. We had a great time. We had a good run of creating a line of products, but we were also very, other parties involved. We felt like we were rushed, and we didn't have time to kind of get the groundwork, build the infrastructure. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To make sure that we can perform at a higher level. So now I'm focusing on infrastructure. Okay. Right? It's like every great business has a downfall, and when in order for them to get their good trajectory, you got to take a moment to step back, see what you have, and then reassess.
Right.
So right now we're taking a break. I haven't been really doing much on social media.
Okay.
What I can say is stay tuned. Like in the next few months,
restructuring. Most companies do that.
For sure, for sure. In the next few months, I'm really I'm really excited about giving the city what Treason is destined to be.
Because folks are still rocking it.
Yeah.
You've had a couple of folks. You had a couple of celebrities rocking the bag.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of athletes rocking the bag.
Oh, yeah. Steph Curry.
Yeah.
A$AP Rocky.
Rich James.
There we go. Rich James, baby.
So we're gonna take a quick break.
Okay.
Then we're gonna come back. We're gonna keep it going.
Cool.
We're gonna play a few games, little fashion games that I put together. We're gonna test your skills. And we're going to continue to let the people know about Aaron Jones, Master Taylor. So we'll be right back. More Living a Rich Life talk show featuring Aaron Jones here on BeExposedRadio.com. We'll be right back.
Long live Pop. Y'all can go ahead and cry now. I'm going to show these niggas what to do with one of your beats, man. I am gas, by the way. Strong woman story should have been on CNN. Nobody knows what it's like being Gwen. Windows closed in the house, it ain't no CNN. Can't gain weight for years, she been being thin. Single mother, no help from the system. When they was giving out food stamps, she missed them. Birth certificate, baby daddy, she couldn't list them. But her son was so beautiful when she kissed him. Blame it on love, but nigga she could've died with. Destroyed the whole world and found out she was a side chick. The nigga loved his wife and it got hard to hide it. So when Gwen confronted him, he ain't even denied it. Her fault, depends on who you asking. She tried to be a stripper, but the tip out was taxing. Buying all the purses, trying to keep up with the fashion. And her mama hated baby sitting with a passion. She deserved better circumstances. A black queen, she should have been blessed with.
You're like an internal bleeder. Can't see your pain, but it can silently kill ya. So deeply wounded, but don't say a thing. Too afraid of what the people may say or think. So you just sit there and you suffer in silence. Your pride won't let you just uncover your secret. Don't wanna look weak in your image, it ain't worth losing. So you just act as if it's nothing happening. God sees you, and God hears you. Yes, God loves you. You're like an internal bleeder. Can't see your pain, but it can silently kill ya. Suicidal, depressed, but you won't say a thing. Too afraid of what the people may say or think. You feel alone even though the people surround you. Popping pills every night even though you know they can't solve it. The emotional pain, it just seems way too heavy. Your mind is racing, wanna scream, somebody help me. God sees you, and God hears you. Yes, God loves you. These type of people sit right under our noses. We don't find out till we're on IG scrolling. We post a few memes, but then it keeps on happening. Something's gotta change, we gotta start talking and telling the truth without the fear of judgment. Gotta come together and really start loving and heal these people cause they slowly dying. Help them believe that their life is worth living. God sees you, and God hears you. Yes, God loves you. I pray there's an end to this suicide demon. We losing people too soon, they cutting and bleeding. They think no one cares, so I wrote this song to tell you, my God, he cares and he can heal you. He sees you when you're crying yourself to sleep, wondering if anybody hears me. You tell yourself you can't go on no more, but your life is worth fighting for. Don't leave this world too soon. There's so many people who really love you. Jesus is calling for you. He knows and he can hear.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
And we're back. Welcome back to Living a Rich Life talk show. Once again, I am your host, Rich James. Today we are featuring Aaron Jones, master tailor, owner of Trees and Toting Company and Bushlers of Baltimore. So during the break, which is always a fun time during Living a Rich Life, and Aaron was showing me some work he's done for some other folks because we were talking offline. And I got to say, if you want your tailoring needs met, this is the guy to see.
These hands are here for you.
Yeah, he does amazing work, and again, he's done some work for me. And oh, by the way, them jeans, those are my favorite pair of jeans.
Yeah, I bet they are. Yeah.
No, that's real talk.
Bro.
That's real talk. You know.
Yeah.
My daughter was like, "You got another pair of jeans?"
Like that?
No, because the other ones, I lost a little weight, but don't be hating on Daddy.
I got you.
Okay. Well, so during this segment, we're gonna do something called Living a Rich Life. It's called Fashion Trivia.
Okay.
Now I had
I hope I'm good at this.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Nothing too tough. Maybe not. Right. But I did this with one of my other previous guests who was in the modeling. So
okay.
I figured it fits since you're a master tailor.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's see here. So, we'll give you a few, then we're gonna get the interview continue. All right. For the fashion label DKNY, the initials stand for what?
Donna Care, New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
All right, that's right.
Throwback.
There
we go. Keep it easy, baby.
A fiber made of two or more mixed fibers is called what?
Oh, that's a blend.
Yes, sir. So,
Yeah,
okay.
I know that.
All right, easy enough.
Yo, is it prize out of this?
Well, we'll see.
Water,
We'll
yeah.
see.
I'm about to
There you go. All right. What fabric was most popular for 1970s leisure suits?
Oh, polyester. The itchy. That's coming back too, man.
Polyester?
Man, they figuring it out, bro. It's recycling itself. It's weird.
No, polyester though. Isn't that like when you wash it, it's done?
That's why you like dry cleaners. Like it's crazy how other businesses thrive when trends change. So polyester comes back, it means dry cleaners will start to win again.
Oh, okay.
Back in the day, you would only go to dry cleaners for all of that stuff.
Right,
you never
right,
wash
right.
the stuff in the house.
Yeah.
That's how it lasts forever. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All righty. Parker, trench, bomber, and pea are types of what winter outwear?
Oh, coats.
Okay.
My favorite.
Winter. What's your favorite season? Right? What's your favorite
Man,
season?
I think it's fall, man. Because fall is still a little warm out. You don't have to wear too many layers, but to wear a nice sweater and, you can wear layer up a turtleneck and a sweater or something, or
Okay.
you can get fresh, you know what
All
I mean?
right. Yeah, true. Now,
Got
I gotta
some
say,
options.
you always have a funky hat on.
That's my thing, man.
Right? You're a connoisseur of hats.
Yeah, I'm addicted.
Yeah?
I'm addicted. My fiance tells me I gotta throw some away. She's like, if you buy another hat, you gotta throw one away. I'm
Oh,
like,
man.
yo, like that's crazy.
I think I'm going to have to, because I've seen your fiance, which we are going to talk a little bit about that. Because again, I need to get to know her a little bit.
Yeah.
One, get on the show.
Yeah, she's
And two, if she says you got to throw a hat, she might just say, hey, well, you should call Rich.
I got a lot of them that ended up in bags, and I was like, man, somebody could be wearing these hats.
Right. Speaking of winter and seasons, I bought a blue Bushler. You remember I bought
Oh yeah, the
this
beanie.
skirt?
Yeah,
the beanie.
Yeah.
Love it to
Beanie
death.
hat still available at Bushlers of Baltimore.
There you
11
have
West
it.
Tate Street. I'm right here waiting for you.
Yeah, there you have it. Yeah. My son has confiscated it.
I'm sure.
Yeah, so I'm like, what do I do?
We'll get him back and get you back in the game.
Do I buy another one?
No worries, I got you, man.
All right, here we go. We're going to take it, then we're going to get back to some questions here. So what color disco suit did John Travolta originally want for Saturday Night Fever?
Oh man.
Oh, now see, this is not really a fashion, but it's more.
I don't really. Was it white?
So that was the.
That's the one he wore, right?
Right. The original
Ooh.
was black.
Did not know that.
Yeah, neither did
He
I.
wore a white one with black lapels, the black shirt.
Yeah, but
Damn,
the
I didn't know
original,
that. That movie would have sucked if it was black.
probably.
It would have been horrible. Because if you think like the way the lights
were.
would hit.
Yep.
Damn, that's actually a great one.
Okay. Let me see
eat that
here.
one.
All right, Ian. Since we just kind of said before we go back to our questions, most pair of jeans come with 5 or what? Most pair of jeans come with 5 or what?
5 or what?
Or what? Most pair of jeans come with, and it's
Pockets?
there. It is
Oh.
pockets. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
pockets.
Yep, pockets. There you go.
Only.
All right, ding, ding, ding. Good job. So that's Rich Life Fashion
There we
Trivia.
go. There we go. I was pressured, man. I don't know why. He was about to hit me with some crazy.
Oh, nah, easy breezy. So we talked a little about treason, toting company.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about Bushel of Baltimore, which
Yeah, so
I've been there. So give us some skinny on that.
So like while I'm trying to rebuild and reposition treason, I've been leaning into the tailor shop.
Okay.
So the reason why I'll lean into the reason why the tailor shop started, while I was, me and Jason were pursuing treason and trying to get it off the ground, I worked in Nordstrom in Towson. I was about 21 years old. I worked for about 6 years, and I was the youngest tailor in the nation to work for Nordstrom. I was walking around with hats on and suspenders, and I was really creating my own lane. Like,
Right.
you weren't allowed to walk around the store with a hat on all day.
Right.
Like
right.
they were like literally John Nordstrom would come in the store and be like, "Yo, he can't wear that hat." And my boss stood up for me and was like, "Yo, he's gonna wear that hat every day because the customers love it, and that's an identifier, and it's helping us bring business." And
That's what's up. I like that.
while I was there, I actually, I learned how to be a tailor respectfully. My mentor, my former boss, Tony Taylor, he is by far like the most loyal man, the most like, punctual, but like concrete, strict. And the way he taught me how to be a tailor was not only just through the clothing, but he also taught me how to be a man, like respectfully,
Right.
and somehow they go hand in hand. So long story short, my tailoring clients was like, "Look, I know this treason thing is going well, but I still need you to tailor my clothes." So treason started in the shop where Bushlers is now, and I kept the shop, and I opened the tailor shop. So, and a Bushler, if you want to know, a Bushler is a tailor's assistant. He does all the alterations. So I don't do anything from scratch. I only do alterations.
Oh, nice.
I'm a Bushler.
That's a good way to close that segment.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to take another break. We're going to come back, continue to poke and prod the brain of Master Tailor Aaron Jones here on Living a Rich Life talk show, only on BeExposedRadio.com. We'll be right back.
First they love you, then desert you. Leave with a plate full with no spoon. Ain't no space, I can't escape negativity. I got used to the taste of been bad, burned, then fucked over. Remain strong through the past over. Kicking haters out of the way like masked over. Roll up, sip something, let it pass over. Who would I be? It ain't the man to me to let the next man take advantage of me. When that storm come, no pan I see. Get with it, not without it, then you'll see. I beat the haters, they know I'm greater. That's why they buzzing for the elevator. But I can't save you, we too loud on the pedal stool. Don't carry favors, always got your hand out demanding favors. When I just look down, now you need more paper. I can't breathe, give me 3 feet. I never let y'all be the death of me. When my patient run there, yeah, nigga OT. Cause they wanna see me down like I'm NCT. 6 words, get the fuck away from me. Say I help you out if you can help yourself. I keep it G till I DIE. Now excuse me while I get back to PC. HOP ain't losing sleep while your third eye always on me. I'm steady green just to feed the team. My boo, she know that I'm king with chasing my dream. These niggas it seems I rip them, trash them, then put on new jeans. Man, see the problem is, man, I keep it 100, man. Yeah, man, like if I got it, then you got it. Yeah, man, but if I don't got it, then I'ma give it. You feel me? But I definitely got you through the ride, man. Let's get it, yo.
I'm really getting tired of ungrateful ass niggas. They really about to turn me to a hateful ass nigga. Like I was never there when you never had figures. Pull triggers for you niggas when you caught up in the trenches. Man, I really don't get it. I don't know what's going on, but I really don't feel it. Niggas really know that I've been there from the beginning, but the more I see niggas side switching, make me wanna bring it closer to the end, and that's why I can't fuck around with these niggas. I'll fuck around with my hoes, cause niggas acting like bitches and hoes acting like bros. Man, I swear I really don't get it. How people switch up they roles. First it was nothing but love, but nowadays I don't know. It seems like anything goes. Where can I go? Cause lately fucking with you, I just stand at a fork in the road, and it's hurting my soul. When I'm around you, I shouldn't feel like I just stay on my toes. So where do we go from here? Get dough from here, or are we gonna end it on the road right here? Cause either way, whether it's left or the right on my property, niggas gon' blow round here. Fuck cities up while we do shows round here. Keep our music bumpin' while we blow Joe round here. Don't be looking salty if you're not going nowhere. Should've kept it with the move instead of moving over there. Cause I'm getting to the point where I just don't care. Know you're thinking to yourself that it's just not fair, but you made your choice and I won't be taught. Just know ain't no fucking coming back round here. And we shining and grinding. You mad that you ain't at the top when you see what we climbing. Our music is timeless. I thought you would witness the vision, but it's obvious that you blinded. I thought we was brothers. I thought we was fam, but it's plain to see that you don't give a damn. Everything cool when we out selling grams, but now it's a problem. A mic in my hand, man. Dang.
Feel you, my nigga. See, niggas be seeing just one way of life when there's billions of possibilities that happen on a day-to-day basis. Don't judge us cause you ain't where you supposed to be at in life. Instead of envy or try and bring niggas to your level, strive for better from yourself, not the people around you, man. Pay attention, wake up.
Is what it is radio show.
Alright, listen. Alright, say situation. Cause I keep telling y'all it's different situations in the child support thing. You can't just pinpoint one thing. You can't just say, oh, here did be. That's why you're on child support. Oh, he this. That's why you're on child support. Oh, she this. That's why she on child support. No. Sometimes it could just go off of, oh, I just called him and asked him, can he pay for the pictures? He ain't want to pay for the pictures. I'm taking his ass downtown. Yup.
Well, you got to know. Know who you dating.
Hold up.
I
just called her and asked could she just get Junior some shoes. She couldn't even get him no church shoes. I'm taking her ass downtown. Now, when you go downtown, you go down there, you get 5.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Right. Welcome back to Living a Rich Life talk show featuring the one and only Master Taylor Aaron Jones. So we're talking offline, and before commercial break, we were talking about Bushlers of Baltimore. Now it's with an S, right?
Yeah. So it's called Bushlers, but the proper vernacular is bushel men, right? Okay. So back in the day, like if you think from if you think about a production line standpoint, okay, the tailor is the person that cut the cloth from scratch. So the tailor will come in and measure you, and he'd lay a piece of cloth on the table and some chalk, and he'd draw these shapes based on the measurements. He cuts them out, he puts them together, and then he has to do that for 20 people in a day. So what he doesn't have time for is to hem your pants to make them shorter. Once you try it on, he doesn't have time to shorten your sleeves. Right. So the person that does that kind of work after the suit is done is called a bushler. Okay. Right? So a bushler is the one who comes in and just fine tunes the product once it's almost done. Okay. So you might need some buttons moved. You might want to slim the sleeve. You might want to taper the legs. You might want to thicken the waist a little bit, let it out a little bit. And just from a production standpoint, one tailor just doesn't have time to do all of that with every customer. You know what I'm saying? Like economically, it just doesn't make sense. Right. So the terms kind of got lost over the years. There was so many systems, not systems, but production processes that, you go to Asia and they make suits in 30 minutes. Right. Right. And it's something that just kind of got lost in translation. And especially when designers just started creating clothing and then they just make them in 20 different sizes. So you don't have to worry about, getting things custom made, and the price for custom made things went up as well. So I opened up Bushlers. I wanted to make sure I created a space where the service industry can be as honest as possible with the customers. A lot of the time, customers go into a mechanic shop and they'll tell you need this, you need that, catalytic converter, blah blah blah, and you're like, I don't know what that is. Can you just make my car work?
And let me interject here. I think this is important because you've done several things for me. So you've done a button on the coat.
Yep.
You've done
taper the coat. Shorten sleeves.
Shorten sleeves. You've done pretty much a lot of things.
A lot of things.
And I remember coming. I lost so much weight, and it just goes to the point of being honest. And you literally said, you might as well get a new jacket.
Yeah, it was too big.
It was just too big.
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, it's like I'm doing myself a disservice.
Right.
And I'm doing you a disservice by taking your money and telling you I can fix this.
Honest man. I remember that.
Yeah.
And from that point on, I said I'm not good against any other place, but I said I'm getting my stuff done.
I appreciate it. I remember that day verbatim,
Yeah.
And it's like it's such a, you build a relationship with the customer. You let them know, like, I care about you, but you don't. By the time you pay $150 in alterations, you could have just went and bought another jacket.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I had to bring that up because I remember that. That sits in my mind. So please continue.
So I was like, and I learned this term from working at Nordstrom. One of my fellow tailors over there. They're obviously the older guys.
Right.
They were telling me they would school me about like the basics of tailoring that don't exist anymore, and this Bushler thing just stuck in my brain. It's like I was like, why don't they call us Bushlers in here? Why do they call us tailors when we don't cut things from scratch? I think that's lying to people.
Right.
Okay. And I don't think it's also fair for people to call themselves tailors when they don't make clothes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, because that takes years of practice. It's like people call themselves doctors and you don't have a degree. Like, you're not a doctor, man. Like, this man went to school and he did a due diligence. He studied for 15 years.
Right.
He deserves that.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of, it's just a respect thing.
Right. So I think the name of your company, the Bushlers of Baltimore, that fits based on what you do, the service that you provide, and I can sign off on that. Being someone that has used your services, given if you had the capacity, though, you probably could make some clothes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
I made clothes for years, man.
Right.
I still can, but it's just like economically, physically, I can't do it.
Yeah, I can dig it. So since we're talking about sewing, have you ever made any sewing mistakes?
Oh man,
what stories you got for me?
So I've got some dark ones. They're all pretty dark.
Okay.
One time I was working in Nordstrom, and so when you go to Nordstrom and you work in a tailor shop, each tailor has a specialty, and mine was pants. So I would do like 40 and 50 pants a day.
Go figure.
One whole day I would do 50 pairs of pants. Like, the waist, taper the legs, hem them, and then be stacks and stacks of them, and then you have to like finish them by the day's over because they're for tomorrow.
Right.
So like before my shift's over and I'm just rushing through and I'm zipping it, like it looks insane. You might walk in and be like, what is happening right now? Right. And I'm like threads flying everywhere, just like imagine a cartoon, he's like in the kitchen and things.
Right.
This one particularly I'm sewing and I get my finger stuck under the needle. And the needle goes through my fingernail bed and I snatched it out and broke the needle. So I said, and it happened so fast, like I looked at the front and blood was coming out the front. So I was like, yo, this is not good. And I looked at this pile of pants and I was like, I gotta keep going. Wrapped it up.
Oh my goodness.
Kept it going. And I think maybe 2 days later, my entire tip of my finger was purple. I didn't spill any blood on clothes, which was great.
Okay.
But that was like, that moment, like I realized, like, Aaron, just slow down, dog. Like,
right.
Like I think the fact that these people have clothing that's fit to perfection is worth more than a messy job.
True that.
So that was a great lesson. And then also, like, I did prom season before, and think about just having like 10 teenage girls going to proms. And you're battling between the teenage girl and the mom.
Right.
And then she wants to split. Right. And mom is like, oh, no, you're not wearing no split. And then she likes this. And now all of a sudden she don't like it no more because she went to school, saw everybody else's dress.
Right.
So now she wants me to change it. Or like you have situations where the girls all of a sudden doesn't have a date to go to the prom. She don't want to go, so now mom don't want to pay for this dress I just made her. All kinds of things. I mean, I've made dresses and they've fallen apart, and I had to go and hand sew them in the dress.
Now, was that a result of you rushing? Was that earlier in your career?
A little, way early.
Early in your career,
when I was really just on hustle mode. Oh my God, I need to make money. I'm young. I'm 20 years old. I'm limber. You know what I mean? Running the fabric store in the morning, come back, work till 5 in the morning, go work in the water taxi, go hang out at the bar for a little bit, go back to the sewing machine, work till 6 in the morning. That was crazy.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah. That was probably a bad mistake, but a great lesson.
Gotcha.
For sure.
Okay. So you mentioned earlier a fiance, and of course I knew you're getting married.
Yeah, my boo.
I'll be sure at this point, after this interview, I'm expecting an invitation.
Nah, gotcha.
So how did you propose? Let's get a little personal. How did you propose?
So I was already planning to get this ring. So it took me maybe a month or two to find the ring, figure out based on the length of her finger, if it should be rectangle or should it be square. I'm the artist, so I'm very visual.
Right, yeah.
Trying to find the right stone for her. I took her to 5 or 6 jewelry stores, and 4 of them she picked out a green ring. So I was oh, that's a good start.
Right.
So long story short, I got the ring, got it in my hand, and haphazardly, her mom and dad was coming up to have lunch with us on a Saturday. So I get the ring on a Friday. I call them and I said, look, since you guys are coming to have lunch, can you meet me an hour before we meet with Alicia? And that's when I asked them if I could marry her.
Okay.
So they say yes, and then we end up going to have lunch, and I've got the ring less than 2 feet away from her, but she has no idea it's in my bag.
Right.
And they're like, well, when are you going to do this? And I'm like, I don't really know. I was like, I have no clue.
Right.
So Sunday comes, and my buddy Kyle, he's a goldsmith, Bluestone Goldsmithing. Make sure you check these guys out.
Okay.
They're my good friends. And I'm like, yo, could you polish this ring? I want you to look at it, make sure everything's good. So he's polishing it. Now, mind you, before I go to Kyle, me and Alicia already have plans to go to the park to have wine. So we go to Mount Vernon Park and drink a bottle of wine during the summer. It's like our regular thing we do.
Right. Nice.
Nothing different from the norm.
Right.
And he's like, well, he's polishing. He's like, well, when are you going to do this? And I'm like, well, I'm about to go to the park in an hour. I guess I need to do it now. And he's like, what? Why now? I was like, well, why not?
Right.
There's no, I know I have it. I don't need to do anything crazy. And
right.
And I don't like the idea of over planning and then things fall apart. I like it to be as organic as possible, and I want it to be relaxed. I don't want it to feel pressure or anything.
Right.
So I look, I'll meet you in the park, and I went to the liquor store, and I get 2 shorties and I throw them back. I'm trying to soothe my nerves.
Right.
And I call my buddy Devin Allen.
That's funny.
Devin's like, yo, what's up, man? I was like, look, I need you to meet me in the park in an hour. He's like, all right, I'm going to get some food, and I'll meet you in the park. So we met in the park, and I was like, look, we're going to sit here. I need you to be behind the tree with the camera, and then I'm going to give you the cue, and you come out and take the picture. So he goes, has his food or whatever, and he finally comes back, and he sees us sitting at the bench, and then we're having a conversation, and I was, joking. I was like, how long do you think it'll take us for us to be married? And she was like, hopefully not long. And my response was, well, I don't want you to wait anymore. I said, I want to marry you now. I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
Right.
And she was like, what? So I got on one knee, and she's like, what are you about to give me a friendship bracelet? It's a joke. And then when Devin came out, she's like, oh my God, this is happening.
Right.
This is happening. He's set this up. So she cries and boo-hoos. I give her the ring. We take a few pictures. And then as soon as we're done, I had already called my buddies and all the girlfriends.
Right.
Told them to meet me at Vino in Fells Point. Get a bunch of bottles of champagne. And as soon as we're done, we're walking to the house. It's a monsoon. So we're walking in the rain and under the umbrella. And it's just beautiful. I don't know, it's just...
Tears of joy.
Yeah, it was just it was like this weird chain of events that was just so real. I couldn't plan for a better day.
Nice.
So October 3rd, man, it's going down.
Well, congratulations.
I'm ready. Thank
Again,
you.
I'll make sure you have my info because at this point, I expect, and I give good.
Hey, man, I need a good gift, bro.
So that's beautiful. That's a beautiful
Thank
thing. You know, of course, I'm not married, so I'm taking all tidbits I can.
I got you, bro.
I can. So, all right. So, what do you consider one of the toughest aspects of being in business for yourself? We touched on some stuff earlier, which we don't need to share.
Yeah.
What do you consider some of the toughest things?
Hello, is anybody there?
All right, sir. Well, thank you again for your time, Mr. McGuire.
Hello, can you hear me?
The toughest thing about being in business is like actually working on the things that you're good at and managing it to the point where people can trust that they can do their jobs without you micromanaging. It's about you having faith. It's about you not only having it's not about having confidence.
Right.
Being able to like go anywhere and wear whatever you want. Like that has nothing to do with that. It's about being a great leader.
Yeah.
Like and understanding like how do you get people to actually believe in your dreams is to make them feel like they belong to them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the worst, like you can think about your worst bosses you've ever had. And those experiences are always, you feel like it's a dictatorship. It's this guy or woman breathing down your neck. Everything you do is wrong. And they think that's just how you're supposed to run your business. But the key to it is like really finding that sweet spot where you can be, you know, you can have authority, but you can also let them know like, yo, you're a part of this.
Right.
Like my theory is, you know, finally, thank God, with the experience I've had in the last few years, it's like being a leader is not about a spear. They always say it's about a spear, and the sharper your spear is, like, there's such a negative, you know, like way to think of things. I like the idea that like we're a straight line, walking forward, and I'm just in the middle of the line, so that way I can see everybody down the line. Nobody feels like anybody's higher than anyone.
Right.
But everybody's job is just as valuable, you know. And if somebody's moving too fast, the person next to you say, "Hey, come back."
Right.
Or if I'm in the middle, I'm like, "Hey, he's moving too fast. Tell him to come back, man. It's fine." And then everybody would grow together. The most successful companies in the world grew with like they had this guy in the middle, Steve Jobs, this guy in the middle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Jeff Bezos, this guy in the middle, and these other people believed. They're his anchors.
And guess what? Aaron Jones.
This
guy in the middle.
You know, so
I appreciate that. That makes sense.
Yeah, and it's also about like, you know, sacrificing, man. It's like you can't tell nobody to do something you won't do yourself. Like that's just crazy.
I agree. I agree. So we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And definitely you're going to stick around for our next guest that decides to come in. But we got one more segment called Living a Rich Life Recap. As well as we got to have the Living a Rich Life moment in time, which is very important. That's like the highlight for me for the show. So we'll be right back. More Living a Rich Life talk show featuring Aaron Jones here on BeExposedRadio.com. We'll be right back.
Like the one thing you always gotta remember is people gonna try to project their insecurities onto you. But you can't listen to what them niggas saying. You gotta get out here and do your shit regardless. You gonna do what you love for the rest of your life anyway. So why not turn that shit into something? Be a man of everything you say. This shit bigger than me, man. Like yeah, I'm good and all that, but you know what I mean? I ain't shit without y'all. So no matter what you up, you gotta go hard. Don't matter. Can you imagine how I really having nothing is? Stomach growling, you ain't got no food in the fridge. Surviving on a jail diet of water and bread. No father figure, that's cause my father dead. Mom bringing different niggas in and out the crib. No money, so you seen it's less than all your friends. But it a joke because your mother was a crackhead. Older sister hoeing off, giving all her homies head.
I could wait for your response, but they let her hear me talk, so I'll just wait for the applause. I always knew that I was great, I got them haters so appalled. I'ma make it out the darkness, and my word is my bond. Delivering these bars while I'm gripping on my balls. Jealous niggas hate to see you succeed, so fuck them all. I'm the master of my destiny, nigga, you not in charge. You either on your grind or in the way, so get lost. Be a man of everything you say you stand for. Lead your people by example, being hands-on. If you're back against the wall, to get your man shown. Fix your vision on the future like it's fast forward. The world is yours in due time, ain't gotta ask for it. I'm from the school of hard knocks, I took a crash course. Shit be stressful, my nigga, that's why I'm getting high. But that's life, and it's the code that I live by. And you know how it is, where we at, nigga. They say money can't buy happiness, but I be happy as a bitch when I can have dinner. Learn from your losses or you end up like...
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to Living a Rich Life Talk Show. Once again, we are featuring Aaron Jones.
What's up?
During this segment, again, I call it Living a Rich Life Moment in Time. And what I like to do is, I like to capture all my guests that come on the show. So what I've developed is my own little...
Oh, word. Yeah.
So as you can see, it has all my guests on here. So
Okay.
if you'll be so kind to give me your Aaron Jones.
I got you.
I don't say the John Hancock, because I say the Aaron Jones.
I got you.
Because we're going to recognize
I'm going to bless you right quick. Wish I'm going to
Anyway,
go right in his hole right here.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And while you do that, what I generally like to ask folks is, what does living a rich life mean to you?
Hang on, my bad.
Yeah. See, that whole multitasking thing?
Don't work for me, yo.
It's a myth.
Right.
Because you're really doing one thing at a time. Just, unless you, to chew gum and walk or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's like, it's just not, it's not even like a real thing.
Exactly. Multitasking.
Wish you all the best and God bless, bro.
Oh, my man.
There we go.
Yes.
In the hole.
Okay. So tell us, what's living a rich life mean to you? You hear that? Term?
So, lately I feel like I've been really close to answering that question, right? My question to myself is like, when do you reach how do you know you've reached success? Right? Okay. Like, what's a rich life, right? To be honest, I think the richest life I could possibly have or ever dream of is to live worry-free, and also make sure that like any dream that I have the ability to bring it to fruition. Okay. And it's not just about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to make sure like it impacts somebody else.
Right.
Like that satisfies me, man. Like the time I spend with my friends, like I love laughing and like,
Yeah, we did a lot of laughing.
I'm all about that, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I like the other part about why I love the tailor shop is I enjoy people being satisfied. When they leave, and they're like, especially like people who like, they have some things about their weight and like they gain too much, or they're going through something, they're sick and they lost too much or whatever. And I like the idea that I can make you feel like normal again.
Right.
Like through the blessing and the love through the garment. Like the garment is speaking to me, I'm translating it, and I'm giving it to you as a gift. And when you leave, you can walk in the world and be as whole as you want to be. Yeah,
no doubt. I like that. It's to me, but it feels genuine.
Yeah.
It feels organic. I have to say again, I don't just have anyone on the show here.
Right.
I think I'm very, I like folks to tell their story, but I do like to learn from folks, as well as feel like they're genuine in what they're doing, versus it being a show, and as I say, I always send out questions ahead of time. Folks usually ask when it comes to media, yes, people send stuff out ahead of time.
Yeah.
However, a lot of stuff we didn't even get through.
Yeah, I talk.
Right?
I talk.
That's real. We didn't get through but again, I just like folks to have a sense of what the conversation will look like. I'm not here to. I'm here to fulfill and empower folks. So this has been truly engaging for me, and I thank you. So one of the things that again we actually touched at
I've been hitting the gym, man.
You've been hitting the gym.
Right
I need to hit the gym. That's real talk. I need to hit the gym. So do you read any books on fashion or tailoring?
I used to be. So I'm really into. I'm into the sartorialist, man. Okay. I don't know if you know what that is.
I was going to ask you. Tell me. What
so it's a. It started as just like from this photographer out of New York, and she was just going around taking pictures of people like they just dress oddly amazing. I mean like
oddly amazing.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean like Pity Uoma in Japan and like Brussels. I mean like older men in like double-breasted suits. I mean like the little Asian girl in New York City with the wide leg pants and like cool sweaters and like love that kind of stuff. As far as fashion books, like, you know, I'm into the documentaries, obviously, okay. Like Coco Chanel and those things are great. And some of the art documentaries, Basquiat and Ralph Lauren, those things are awesome all the time. Okay. As far as like reading, I've been reading a book by Malcolm Gladwell, right? Is it Gladwell? Yeah, Gladwell, Malcolm Gladwell. And I literally just got into it. A friend of mine gave it to me. And so far, it just talks about how the community impacts the art of products.
Okay.
Right? It's like how does your circumstances around you impact how things are made to make sure the community survives.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I follow.
And I'm like, it's so in line to where I am now, because I think my goal now is to create products that satisfies people's lives. You know, like I want to make, not just like from a utility standpoint, like, oh my God, I need my phone to stand up, I need one of these things.
Right.
But more of a like, what makes you feel? You know, like what kind of product, like what makes you like your heart flutter?
Right.
When you wear your favorite jacket.
Shoot, I can lie.
You see what I'm saying?
It's true. I know what you're saying. When I tell you, I be wearing the damn jeans. I take my jeans to the cleaners.
See?
I don't even wash them no more. Yeah. I'm like, yo, and that was washed jeans.
Yeah. You say, I need these to stay right.
I can't make this shit.
I appreciate it, man.
Right?
I appreciate it, man.
You did another pair of pants that I had on earlier today.
Yeah.
And it was like elastic, you know, because I try to come out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm like, yo, these joints, I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, how did you do it?
I appreciate it, man. That means I'm doing my job, man.
Well, you ain't lying about that. True. I'm going out. Hey, guess what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put them damn jeans on.
I appreciate it.
So I'm gonna be out now. They be like, those are jeans Aaron did for you?
Yes, sir, they are.
Yes.
I should have put my name on the bottom.
Oh my goodness, right? I never knew. So let's tell everybody again before we close out this segment. Let's tell everybody where the shop is.
Yes. So the tailor shop is right in the heart of Mount Vernon. It's 11 West Chase Street. It's across Charles Street, across from the Belvedere Hotel. If you guys are familiar with Mount Vernon. You can follow on Instagram. It's Bushlers Be More. Bushlers Be More. That's it. No dash, no hyphen. Just Bushlers Be More. BUSHELERS BMORE. And you can visit our website, bushlersofbemore.com. And if you book an appointment today, most of our hours are always posted on social media on Instagram. You can also find us on Google as well. If you have any questions, our phone number is on there as well. You can visit our website, and then we also offer, if you book an appointment, we offer 5% off your alteration. Consultations are free. If you come in and we can't do anything with it, I'm not going to charge you for that. That's not what we're about. We just want to make sure we can come up with a solution for what you need. And if you do commit to alterations, we typically have 7 to 10 day turnaround, 7 to 10 business day turnaround. And we're open Tuesday through Saturday. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
And I pretty much tailor everything. So if you got a sweater, you got jeans, you got your favorite coat from grandma, your dad's coat from back in the day, vintage, something you bought from a thrift store, like we're gonna make it work.
Good deal. Good deal. And I gotta say, I've gotten my work done there many times. And actually, I got something I have to pick up.
Yep, you got to come grab that.
So his turnaround time is good. My pickup time is not.
Yeah, you're a busy man.
Yeah, my pickup time is not. So,
busy man.
And he'll keep your stuff fresh until you get there.
I got you. It ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, so, all right, well, I definitely, again, I want to thank you for being on
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
I would like for you to stick around because, again, we have Miss Dareise Jones coming on.
Okay, cool.
A writer, a speaker, a mentor, a storyteller. She's good. And
cool.
We're just going to keep it going. Sound like a plan?
Let's do it.
All right, so again, we have Aaron Jones here, Living a Rich Life talk show featuring Aaron Jones here on BeExposedRadio.com. I want you to come back for the next hour. It's going to be a phenomenal hour. Going to keep the show going. BeExposedRadio.com, Living a Rich Life. We'll be right back.
This is a Poverty ENT exclusive. Next stop, Texaco. Strapped up, you already know. Fuck niggas hate, that's how it goes. Bros with me, yeah, it's time to go.
Chose by another nigga, bitch, damn. This chopper got 50 round clip. So this Molly and the syrup got me geeking, shorty. Ain't know I popped them Xannies, had them sleeping on me. Love in a hood full of hate. Pray to God that he open up them gates. Rest in peace to Freddie Gray and Lil Scooter. Putting on for our city, watch his door.
Next stop, Texaco. Strapped up, you already know. Fuck niggas hate, that's how it goes. Bros with me, yeah, it's time to go. City, got my mind strong, take a time bomb. Fuck a pot, I'd rather pat the kitty. I don't want the city, don't call me Diddy. Yeah, I rap my city, ready to show them something they ain't ready for. Nigga voice firm, so you can't ignore it. Talking shit like I'm fixing toilets. Shag a rhythm, I can see me torn. Horn cuffs, shades on, shirt off, strapped up, Molly down, blowing strong, riding around. The demonstration hold 50 rounds, I'm a fool with it. Got ratchet niggas that's cool with it. You got a cold heart till that ooh hit it. Stop fucking with me, got my mind set. See my mind state is at a high rate. Next stop, Texaco. Strapped up, you already know. Fuck niggas hate, that's how it goes. Bros with me, yeah, it's time to go.
Listen to this flashback of Skyline Radio Show.
So where we at? Maybe talk about the effects and what's going on in these schools.
Yeah.
And what people don't understand. Just real briefly, I just want to talk a little bit about what people say bullying is or is not. So bullying comes in many forms. It's a teasing, it's the cyberbullying, it's the texting, it's the phone calls, it's the posting of pictures and people's personal information to pretty much cause them harm, to have them feel insecure. It's the sex assaults that people actually put out there. There are physical assaults, and there are mental assaults and emotional assaults. And what I like to remind individuals that any aggressive behavior towards anyone that is unwanted and unwarranted in an individual asks you to stop.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to Living a Rich Life. Once again, I am your host, Rich James. And today we featured Aaron Jones. I do have a special guest, so with that being said, y'all already know. Let's talk about it. Our special guest is known to provide instructional leadership in English, language arts, music, art, special education, and social studies. She is a certified Maryland educator and extremely skilled in the realm of public speaking. She is a contributing writer for the Baltimore Times and uses her love of storytelling as a means to connect and empower. Please welcome educator, writer, speaker, and one of my favorite storytellers, Miss Dareise Jones.
Thank you, Rick.
All
So
right.
happy to be on.
That's a lot, man. Right? I feel like a little underrated.
Well, you know.
That's all good.
I like to bring folks in. I try to. That's one of my strong points. My strong point.
I love it.
So we're gonna get right into it.
Okay.
We not holding any punches. We got a few games that we play here also.
Okay.
Right. And so with that being said, so tell me a story about Dareise Jones.
I knew you were gonna ask that. You sent it, and I was like, "What story will I tell?" There's so many in my life. So I decided to tell my story.
Okay.
You know,
right.
so I'll just talk a little bit about my story. Born and raised in Baltimore. Grew up to a mother who has a mental illness, and my father was an absentee father. My grandparents raised me, and that really shaped who I am, and all of those wonderful things that you said about me came from those dark, tumultuous times that I had growing up. But I'm, thriving now, doing my thing, living a rich life.
Okay. I know that's right. So if there was 5 adjectives to describe you, right? Give us 5 adjectives to describe yourself.
Okay, so I would definitely say, and I didn't want to make them all positive.
No,
because we're not, all positive.
Exactly. Sometimes,
So-
hey, you just go with it. It
Okay.
doesn't matter.
So I'm definitely optimistic. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm always looking on the bright side. Bright side. Sometimes to a fault.
Okay.
So I've had to learn how to be realistically optimistic. I'm adventurous, believe it or not. Yes, I'm an educator, and I have that whole persona, but I also like to go out and have a good time. I haven't skydived yet, but I did do paragliding in South Africa last year, which was amazing.
Pretty adventurous.
Yes,
Sure.
I like stuff like that. I won't bungee jump though. I won't do it. I've heard the feeling of going
It's too
down
close
and
to
then
the
coming back
ground
up.
for me.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
No, I'm not a bungee jumper either. I've done scuba diving and stuff like that, but bungee jumping, no, that's not it. That's
See,
not
I
for
want to
us.
scuba dive too.
It's not for us, you know what I'm saying? They
You simple. Okay, so we got adventurous, optimistic.
Definitely courageous.
Okay.
Which is something I'm really tapping into this year. Just being brave, doing some things that I haven't, that I've been afraid to do. Taking more risks in different ways. So I've always taken risks when it comes to being a professional. If somebody's saying, "Oh, you can't get into that position or this," no, I'm going to do it.
Right.
But in terms of my artistic and creative side, I've been pretty laid back with that. So I'm finding in the last couple of years, I'm like, no, I'm just going to put myself out there with my writing, performing, doing poetry, singing, stuff like that.
Okay.
So definitely courageous.
Okay. You got one more.
I no, that was not 4.
That wasn't okay. Go ahead.
What did I say? I said
3. What was it? Go ahead. Just
I
keep
did
going.
3.
Okay.
2 more, bro.
2 more.
I had to turn the teacher on. Wait a minute.
I love it.
I know I do English,
I
but
said
I know
adventurous,
math.
courageous. I said adventurous, courageous, optimistic.
Okay. All right. You're right. My
I'm
bad.
stubborn. So I didn't want to, make them all positive. I'm stubborn.
There we go.
It can be a good thing. It can be a bad thing.
Yeah.
If I get my mind doing something that I want to do or I don't want to do, it's not going to happen. I don't care what anybody
Sounds
says.
very familiar.
It's just not happening. So that has worked for me and against me. We all working on ourselves.
No doubt.
All right.
No doubt.
And then the last thing I would say is ambitious. So that, kind of ties everything in. I am ambitious. I love life and everything that it has to offer. And so those are my factors.
That's good. So I want to touch on a few of those things that you mentioned. So I remember, in which we'll talk about this during Living a Rich Life moment in time, kind of when we first met. But I remember I invited you out to an event. It was the Night Brunch Festival.
Yes.
And I remember you talking about, and I don't know when that was, but a couple of months ago, during the summer. And I remember you talking about some of the things that you're doing. So you talked about social media.
Yeah.
So just recently, you did some singing somewhere.
Wow, I didn't see that coming.
You also told me you just throw questions in there at that time.
Well, I do. I like
so
stuff.
Here we go.
Yes, here we go.
Pretty ambitious.
I like stuff being organic, but it goes back to the point of saying you're going to start doing things that you that you weren't doing normally.
Yes,
right? Your more
definitely.
creative side of yourself. So with that being said, how was that experience? And I wish I would have known because I would have popped up there.
I didn't really put it out there. I didn't want to because I'm getting back into it. So I didn't want the pressure of, everybody's coming to see me and this and the other. But I've been singing since I was a little girl. I grew up in the church with my grandparents, been singing since then. I've done pageants. I have done some other things, trying out for not making the band. There was another show back in my early 20s that I tried out for.
Your early 20s? I think you were 23, girl.
Yeah, I'm 28.
There we go.
Plus something.
Y'all terrible.
Yeah, so I did those things, and then I really got into my career in education, kind of put those things to the side. And again, in recent years, I've just said, you know what, I want to get back into those things. So I got back into writing. Was fortunate enough to work with the Baltimore Times, and then this opportunity came about. A wonderful musician, linked up with him, actually connected online, and he was like, come out, sing. I'm like, really? Are you really for real? And it was really for real.
Wow.
And it was amazing, and it was great, and I was scared as hell. But I got up there and did it and had a wonderful, wonderful time.
So your next outing is going to be, I'm going to invite, I assume?
It will be posted on social media.
Invited only 10 or 12 people.
Not be
public.
I consider that an invite.
It is.
You put it out there. So when you see it, just come on out.
That's what I'm saying.
And when I hit that stride where I'm like, all right, y'all, come, then, I'll do more
baby
personalized.
Steps.
Exactly.
All right. All right. I'll take that.
That's a hard thing to do, man.
It is.
What, singing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind talking in front of people, but that, my buddy's a comedian, and I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah, there's a different type of funny when it comes to being a comedian. I had a couple.
Because you're looking for a response, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like immediately, you're looking for a response.
You feed off of the audience, right?
You do.
Ultimately, even speaking too. You don't want to speak about something that folks,
but at least with speaking, you can you can get the moment where they're listening. They're not saying anything, they're not reacting, but they're just
that's how I feel about y'all. Y'all a captive audience.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right, so let's keep going with this writing and speaking, and we add this singing thing. And sounds like you're a traveler also. South Africa?
South Africa, yes. That was my last trip back in September. Did a wonderful, great girls trip. Went to Johannesburg and Cape Town, stayed for 10 days.
Wow.
Initially, I was not going to go. So I do love to travel, but this trip took the longest. And so there was a fear there, I've flown to China, that took 14 hours. That was back in 2014, not recently.
Yeah, I'm about to say, we have to cut this interview short.
Whoa. Corona. You hear a cough, you're like, whoa, baby.
Well, we don't want to play because Corona, that thing is real.
Want no beef.
Yes.
Serious. Right,
so been in China, I've been to Dubai. So those are 13-hour, 14-hour flights. This was
pretty solid resume, man.
Yeah. I like to travel. Okay.
Yeah, and I have travel girlfriends who are amazing with planning and putting everything together. Shout out to y'all. So I was just like 24 hours on a plane, I don't know. But again, just in this whole mindset of, you know what, just do it, just live. So I did it, I don't regret it. I would go back, I would do it again.
Wow.
I would do it again. We had layovers, so you have time to kind of
collect yourself,
get yourself together
Yeah.
before you get on the next flight, and it is so worth it. You have to stay like at least 10 days though. It's not like a week trip.
I believe it.
You know,
It's probably
if
so
you're
much to
traveling
see.
so far, and it's a lot. And
Yeah.
of course, we still didn't see everything, but it's beautiful to touch the soil of Africa, to interact with the people, to learn about the history and the parallels between our history, you know, apartheid and segregation here, and the remnants of that are still there, systemic racism that still exists there. It was powerful. It was amazing.
All right, good deal. So I want to get into some of the storytelling, right?
Okay.
So where did your love of storytelling come from?
That is a very, very good question. And it made me think about, I think we all, if you really think back to when you're younger, whatever you're doing now, there was something in your childhood that gave you the idea that this could be or this was happening. So I've always loved reading. That's where it started from. I was always a girl. I like to play outside and stuff like that, but I loved books. When we had the little book fair, oh my gosh, I need $10 for the book fair. Going to the Enoch Pratt Library. It did something to me. So you know, people who are artists, like a visual artist, they see art and it moves them. Words always moved me. So it started with actually reading, and then I realized, okay, so once I read that, I can, you know, interpret it into my own experience, the way that I want people to feel about that particular thing. And so started very young, probably like second grade, reading Langston Hughes and other notable authors and poets, and then just it became like a way for me to vent, for me to get things out with my, you know, childhood, having a parent who has a mental illness. I went through a lot, you know, so it was a way for me to just kind of have that way to express myself and get some of those things out. So it happened at a very, very young age.
So let's, because we're going to talk about that, right? I do know, because I have a pretty good team in here, and we did some research on you. And we've identified, you know, some articles that you actually been a part of with the Baltimore Times, and one of them did actually reflect mental illness, mental health challenges actually. So we're going to get to that.
Okay.
But I think, you know, because I think that's a big and pretty hot topic these days. Still.
Definitely, as it should be. I'm very happy about that.
That's real, but we're going to keep it light right now for the moment. Okay. So you mentioned, do you have a favorite author of it? You know,
I have a lot of favorite authors. So when you sent me these questions, I was like, I cannot, wait a minute, let me pull up my papers. The writer. So let's see, my top 5.
Top 5.
What page
I like
is it
that.
on?
Top 5. Yeah, that's what writers do.
It's so hard
man,
to choose,
I'm underprepared right now.
Okay.
And I almost made you come with some stuff to
You
fix
talking
my
to
pants.
a whole teacher,
Yeah,
whole
I guess
writer.
you're
That's
right.
what we do.
I guess you're
That's
right.
what I do for fun.
I was the kid getting in trouble. You'd be like,
You didn't have your paper,
I forgot it.
Look,
I wrote it on my arm.
Oh, I would tell you, look, say it out loud. You don't have to write anything down, but you're going to do your work. You are going to do your work.
Definitely had those teachers.
All right, so authors. So definitely Maya Angelou.
Okay.
She does it all, poetry, books. She used to sing, just celebrating the black woman, black people, love her. Mary Shelley, I fell in love with Mary Shelley in college. So I have a bachelor's in English. She wrote Frankenstein. Timeless story, written at a time when women were not respected as authors. And then to go into something like sci-fi just intrigued me very much. Octavia Butler. A black author. She wrote Kindred, which is one of my favorite books in the 70s, also sci-fi, which dips into slavery. And then the main character is married to a white man in the 70s, but she some kind of way goes back in time and meets his ancestors and interacts with them. It's very, very powerful. Langston Hughes, Shakespeare. Just because it's where so many things started.
Yep.
You know, the stories that we continue to tell started with Shakespeare. George Orwell.
I could never get with Shakespeare because
Really?
they
Fellow,
talk so
man.
funny.
So good. The Bible, you read the Bible, right?
Yeah.
Shakespeare, baby.
Oh, he wrote the Bible.
He had some kind of influence on the language in the Bible, but
yeah, you know, how art thou?
The language, I don't particularly love the language, but I love the stories. Love the stories.
Okay, and go ahead.
And then George Orwell, who wrote Animal Farm, 1984, and Zora Neale Hurston. So that's the short list. I had to stop because I could. I love Nikki Giovanni. I love Sonia Sanchez. Like I have so many.
That's a lot.
I had to keep it, you know.
Yeah, Giovanni's 5, bro.
Yeah, I know. So we're going to take a quick break, okay? We're going to come back and we're going to play a game, either or.
Okay.
All right? It'll be all right. And then also we got a couple of fashion trivia because Aaron again is a master tailor.
Okay. Okay.
And well, you're going to answer some of those questions because you always seem to be so stylish. So so we'll be right back.
I was like,
we'll be right back. More Living a Rich Life talk show here featuring Aaron Jones and special guest Dareise Jones. The Joneses are in the house here on BeExposedRadio.com. We'll be right back.
I'll be up in the way. 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 Running on my face. Gucci guilty on my face. I'll be up in the way. 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 Bedroom phone ring, girl in t-shirt answers me. I get off on the way that she answers me. First time saw her, I knew she was the one for me. Ever since then, we been vibing on some chemistry. It's just a matter of time. I know she feeling my vibe. I got the keys to the ride. She put her hands on my thigh. She got that look in her eye. SL what I'm riding. Royalty, call me highness. All day and overnighted. Cause it's crunch time when I'm grinding. This Adderall got me nauseous. Proceed with caution. Tired of lanes, I'm exhausted. Poppin' Zanny Zan, sipping out the faucet. I'm confused, don't know what I'm doing. Wait, what I'm doing? Got me going where the I'm going. Out of space, where I'm going. Wait, where I'm going? Wait, where I'm going? Out of space, where I'm going. Out of space, where I'm going. I'll be up in the way. 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 Running on my face. Gucci guilty on my face. I'll be up in the way. 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 Can I talk to you? I've been working hard. I've been up all night. I just been so high. I feel nothing off the sands. Withdrawals killing me. I need something to sleep. Need you on top of me. I need to get high. Dreams designer all night. Chanel should be hot in my dreams. Wearing my clear in my sleep. I'm not who you need me to be. Indigo sound for the team. Royalty sound for the team. Hippie vibing for the team. I need space, girl. I need to get out, yeah. Slow my motions, leaning. I've been out, yeah. Never worry about me. I've been chilling. Can't do this no more. I'm in my feeling. Can't put your business all out in the open. Can't fix a heart that's already been broken. You changed my ways, I'm already helpless. I take my time, I figure it out, girl. You know you are. I'll be up in the way. 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 Running on my face. Gucci guilty on my face. I'll be up in the way. I'll be up in the way. I'll be up in the way. I'll be up in the way.
Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
That's the biggest thing, is just empowerment. Just get off of the begging line. Just be proud and just get our pride and our dignity back, because as a child, we're taught how to go and beg for a job. Our parents, they literally taught us how to make sure you pull your pants up. Me, I'm 6'7", so I'm a bigger man. I was always taught how to not be threatening or intimidate people when I go into different interviews or different scenarios. And so we're literally taught how to condition ourselves, condition our speech, everything, in order to go and beg these people for a job, because we know when we walk in the door, I have to tear down 10 stereotypes before I get past hello. So we need to eliminate that. You know, and we need to eliminate that, and the way that we do that is employing ourselves and employing our brothers and sisters. And so that's our mission, is group economics, uplift ourselves, because I can't empower anyone until I empower myself, and change from just being willing, because it's in my heart and my passion to see my people succeed and see us do better and change the social order, because I know that we are not supposed to be on bottom. I understand who I was. I know I didn't fall out of the sky and land on a plantation. So when you have knowledge of self and you know who you are and what you come from, it's frustrating more than anything to see us in this position.
Tune into the Artist Exchange every Friday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Saturday 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. live on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to Living a Rich Life. I got to tell you, today I have my two guests are very, very comical today. There was a lot of laughter during the break, and I said earlier we do a lot of laughing. In here we have a good time, good conversation. So before the break, we left, and we said we're going to play a game called Either Or.
Okay.
Right? So I'm going to give you two options, all right? And you have to decide which one that you prefer. Okay. There is no both, so you have to, and you're not excluded from this, so just so you know.
Did
so,
you play last?
I
play fashion
stuff.
He played fashion.
Okay.
All right. This new
All right, Miss Jones, Dareise.
Yes.
Dog or a cat?
Dog.
Okay. Do you have a dog?
I do not have any animals. I've
No
never
pets?
had any animals or
Okay.
pets, but I
Okay.
would have a dog.
All righty. This is for both of you. Phone call or text? Yeah, this is the 21st.
Phone call for me.
Phone call? Okay.
Text.
Text? Oh, wow. Now that's odd. That's text.
I'm a writer. I like to see the written word.
Oh, you know,
I used
you like
be
to
the
have
phone call
documentation.
person, but I
I need to-
really have become
Yeah?
the text person.
Text person?
I'm always doing so many different things.
I'm
so-
not good with context. So if you text me, like, is this a mad text? Or are you asking me like a real flat question?
Yeah, so you rather call.
Like, are you done yet?
Oh my goodness! Right,
or,
right.
Or is it like, are you done yet?
Right.
I don't know. I need a phone call.
Okay. All right. iPhone or Android? Team iPhone?
iPhone, bro.
Team iPhone.
Android.
What?
Android. I'm on the 9.
Oh.
But I am, once this is paid off, I'm going to try the iPhone.
iPhone. There you go. Some nice.
Everybody in
case
my family
is
has
iPhone,
one,
right?
yes.
Okay. Okay. So you rather receive an email or a letter? Yeah.
I think I'm a letter person.
Yeah.
I haven't received a letter in years, but if I got one,
there is.
Email.
Email?
Yeah.
I already knew that. She's like, I'm waiting for him to answer.
I feel like it's a letter, but it's just a digital one.
Yeah.
Well,
I just feel like you took your time to write it.
A handwritten.
You know, like handwritten notes, yo.
Yes.
I send them
But
off
you
with.
said a letter, so I'm thinking like
So-
a full-length letter. Or
I'm
you
sorry,
mean
so
a
email-
note. I do like a note.
Yeah,
I would like
notes
a
are
note.
written,
Yeah,
actually, a
notes are
handwritten, not nothing. You know, hell, I don't even got to type now. Just whisper, just say it
That's
into your
true.
phone, right? Okay. TV or book? Yeah, either one of y'all can answer. TV or book?
Yeah, I don't be reading a whole lot lately. Watching TV.
I watch a lot of TV too. But I can't say both. I watch TV just as much as I read.
So it's a balance.
But
oh, okay.
if I had to pick, I would say TV.
Okay.
For sure.
All right. I like this one. So, toilet paper, over or under?
Over.
Okay, we the over crew. We the
over.
Under is disrespectful.
Right.
I don't like it. Like, why am I reaching when you can just take it from right in the front? Like,
I need to be close my eyes and be like,
yes. Not rolling it, trying to get it to come off. Like,
I love it. Okay, all right. That ends either or. We'll keep it simple.
That's pretty cool.
Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Beer or wine? I heard that. Beer or wine?
I'm gonna say wine.
Wine?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like beer, man. I got a lumberjack shirt on.
Right.
I have a beer every now and again, but I do prefer
Okay,
wine.
all right. Well, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for playing. I appreciate it. So let's get back into this interview with you. Yes, because we got a bunch of questions here. So we are here in Baltimore City. And what is your philosophy of the education system here?
That's a really, really good question. It's kind of simple for me, honestly. Ever since I started 15 years ago, you have to love kids. You have to love working with people, love teaching, love the art of it, all of the different ins and outs in terms of personalized instruction for kids. And you have to connect with them. You know, not just with the kids, but with the parents too. So that's my philosophy. Every student can learn. Right. You gotta love it, and you have to connect.
Yeah,
it's that simple.
So, do you have a specific style of educating? You know?
So it really depends. So I haven't been in a classroom in a number of years. So I work at a Sylvan Center now. I run a Sylvan Center, which is a tutoring center. But before that, I was an assistant principal, okay? And so the lessons are a little different. They're outside of the classroom. Right. Now you're getting students who are in trouble coming in and different things like that. So you have to get to know them to know what's going to work for them. Because I can definitely be stern and I don't play, Miss Jones. And then I can be, you know, kind of calm, like, you know, okay, wait a minute, you know, you need to stop, like that. You have to have that balance. You have to know when to bring the shark out, like, hey, rah, rah, rah. I'm not going to bite you, but that's not okay. And then, you know, also follow it up with a hug. So my style is more like, I'm not playing, but I love you, you know?
So one of the things, I had a guest, Dawi Sewell. He has this program called the Grow Program. And I do encourage you to go to Instagram and find the Grow Program, because he has a very good curriculum. And just from a style, kind of similar to what you're saying, and when to, because again, at the end of the day, the kids got to feel like you care before they do anything.
Definitely.
I've come to realize, I'm a native New Yorker, so that's the first thing. So I didn't grow up here in Baltimore, but I've been here long enough to know and kind of seen firsthand. I used to teach myself when I first got out of Morgan, and I taught at an alternative high school. So I definitely understand the ins and outs of Baltimore City. I think Baltimore City is a great city, hence that's why I came back actually. So
we're happy to have you here.
It's a misunderstood city, you know.
I agree. I agree. So, all right. Excuse me. Oh, that's not the Corona.
It better not be.
I'm gonna have a Corona though. All right. So let me ask this question.
You crazy, dog.
Let me ask this question in terms of reading and writing, and because technology kind of it shapes things differently. I think so. So what do you think the future looks like for reading and writing? Right. I mean, you write for the Baltimore Times, right? You still write for them. Nowadays, are people still buying papers? So that's two questions in there, right?
People do. Okay. So I think that we're in a very interesting time because I'm an 80s baby, so I grew up in analog and making our way to digital, and I really had like a fight, especially as a teacher. I wanted my overhead projector, and I wanted this papers and this, that, and the other. But now I see the value of having everything digital. You know, traveling, I can just pull things up on my phone and get it done, whereas before it's like I gotta lug these books and this paper and this, that, and the other. So I just see more of that, more of digital outlets. And I actually think it's a great thing because you have more avenues for people to get into the field. Whereas before, like this, like you all have your own show. Before you had to go to like a major radio network and this, that, and the other. You want to start a blog, you start your blog. You don't have to worry about connecting with, you know, the powers that be, so to say, to do what it is that you want to do. I will say, though, the thing that worries me, even though things are digital, even though we're getting these quick sound bites and these quick captions, you still need to know how to read a book, how to thoroughly do your research, how to sift through sources, because everybody out here, because everybody can make a blog, they're just putting whatever out, they might not have the right information. And so as a teacher and even as an administrator, that was something that I told kids, you know, yeah, it's nice these things on Instagram, but they probably don't know what they're talking about, or they might, but you need to take it further. You know, so you need to know how to do both.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really my thing. You're not taking the SAT and it's just going to be like an Instagram caption. No, you're going to read
all of it.
Some long literature and, you know, things like that. So you need to know how to do that as well. But I think the digital thing is amazing. I've connected with people from all over the world as a result. So it was very limited when it was just paper. So I just see it becoming more of that, more visual things instead of actually written, more auditory things. You have Audible, you have things like that. So I think that's great.
Yeah, okay. So let's talk about some of your, since you're singing in front of crowds, but prior to singing in front of crowds, you've done some public speaking, or right? So what's the largest group that you've ever been in front of and had to speak in front of?
Oh gosh, like hundreds of people. Hundreds of people. I've done that more so in my profession though. Okay, instead of outside of it. But so I was talking about like facing fears, this, that, and the other. So I've dealt with anxiety, and particularly like performance anxiety. So for someone who speaks a lot, it can be very debilitating. And so you really have to, and I know we're going to go into this a little later, like the mental wellness thing, like really work on getting your mental together to know that, you know what, I got this, I can do this. And it was never a thing that I didn't feel like I could do it, but it's a very, how can I put it? There's a young lady who's a singer now, Summer Walker, and people were like getting on her. She has social anxiety, has a beautiful voice, wants to sing, but it really is a thing where there's a response when you get out there and you see all these people and it's like, oh my gosh, and you just feel stuck.
Paralyzing. It's like
it really is. And so
Summer Walker, huh?
Yeah. So
you
that's
definitely
really
heard
good.
some of the music for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that's really good. So it's been hundreds of people, but it's not easy. It's easier. Like even coming here was just like, okay, what I want to say when I do. There's this narrative going on in your mind, and you got to talk back to yourself like, okay, you know, you got your notes, you got that. That's why I have my notes. So there's these are things that you do to make sure that you combat that anxiety. You have to do things that work for you. This works for me. I have to think about and process things before I get there. You know, so.
Yeah, I think when I first started, and because my story is about folks who was like, you should be doing something in entertainment. Really, I used to do stand-up, by the way.
Okay.
That you should be doing something, right? And again, it came to be, I got sick, and then I started thinking about my life. And then I was like, dang, what Rich, what are you going to do with your life? Mixed it around. I said, living a rich life, because it's not about money, but it's about other things, right? As again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, it's about 6 things to me. You know, good health, strong relationships, financial freedom, goals and achievement, extraordinary experiences, which my life has had many of those, and then giving back, philanthropy. But when I think of, just like, hey, you should be doing this, and I was a little nervous, but as the more you do something, it becomes so easy.
Second nature.
It does.
It's like it's just to kind of chime in on that. Like we did a lot of pitching, like being able to pitch in front of investors. Like that is, to be able to sell yourself to somebody is like, it's very, very intimidating. Because not to mention following this pitch, they're going to have a slew of questions that you're not ready for. No sheet of paper is going to help. And like the best advice I've ever gotten is like, not even advice, it was just a statement. Like, you know the information. Knowing the information, doing your homework, like there's absolutely nothing you can say to go against you. Not unless you say, I don't know.
Right.
Which is not a bad thing, but at least you're honest. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you know,
yeah, that's real. That is totally real. That is totally real. I don't even say I don't know it. When in corporate America, let me
give me some time. I'll get back to you.
I'll do some research and I'll come back to you.
Yep.
I don't even say I don't know anymore. That's funny that you mentioned that. So okay. Continued on this theme. So the storytelling. Because I do want to get into some of the articles though. First and foremost, some of the articles that you've worked on. One of them being, and like I said, I got a good team. They put together some good notes here on you. The Baltimore author encourages black men to seek treatment for mental health challenges. So that was an article?
Yes. So last year with the Times, I had the honor of meeting with, interviewing, writing a story about Sananda Edwards, okay? So he is from Baltimore. He wrote a book, The Extraordinary Mr. Nobody, okay? And we had a great conversation. That's one of the other things that I love about writing. Just like you get to meet people, you get to hear their stories, and then I get to turn that whole hour I was talking to them into 500 words, which is a challenge in of itself because there's so much. But we had a great conversation, and his book is about particularly black men being able to and feeling comfortable with getting help with mental health wellness. I don't like to say illness. And I say that because I told you all my mother, has a mental illness. She has schizophrenia. And that is a mental illness that is diagnosed. Sometimes you're not necessarily diagnosed, you're just going through a little something. It might not be an actual, like illness, so to say, which is nothing wrong with that. But my focus is really on just wellness, period. Because even if it doesn't have a name, if something is stopping you from doing what it is you want to do, or being who you want to be, and it's in your mind, like that's your mental wellness is not there, or you're interacting people in a way that's toxic or not helpful, stuff like that. It could be an illness, or it could be an issue of just your mental health needs to be worked on and you're not well in that way, if that makes sense. It's a fine line.
I follow you.
So anyway, his book is about just this search for his mental health and his mental wellness. His father committed suicide. He went through a lot of things, and he felt like because he's a man, a black man, I can't tell people about this. I can't go get help. In the black community, by and large, I know when I was coming up, it's like, no, we don't go to therapy. We go to Jesus, Jesus made the therapist. You know what I'm saying?
Go to church.
And so I went to therapy. I will still go if I need to go. I tell people all the time. It changed my life. So it's like giving people permission and saying, it's okay if you're going through this, if you're grieving. Some people don't even think about that. You lose someone, like you go through mental anguish and you may need help to get through that. So just making it okay and all right to say, you know what, I'm not okay. I need some help. I'm gonna get some help. So I love doing that story.
Okay. And again, it's not just black men. His book speaks of black men.
Yes. So but it can be anybody.
It's like human nature, right? You go through trauma, and it's just like, yo, I have not gotten over this.
Yes.
But you don't even know until you done something crazy. You're like,
because it's gonna come out.
Yeah,
it does. It manifests
does.
itself. So why not help yourself with how it manifests? And make it positive. Instead of negative.
So this another article, which they apparently they found a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, I know you all picked just a couple though.
Yeah, and I picked this one in particularly because this article was new whiskey brand launched in Baltimore. He's a whiskey guy.
I'm a whiskey guy for sure.
Okay. I like a little whiskey after I have my wine.
I like a little whiskey after I have my wine. Okay. Whoa. Okay. So I just thought that was interesting again because my folks, they do a little research.
Yes.
We like to be prepared. What was the name of the brand? Do you recall the name of the brand?
So it's Rams and Parrots. I met up with Rodney Dotson. I met him a few years ago, like at a party, and He does real estate, excellent real estate agent. He teamed up with some of his friends, and they did something that a lot of African Americans don't necessarily do, which is get into the whiskey world. And it's a very interesting story behind it. His grandmother used to make corn whiskey, you know, from the South, making your own whiskey, and he just noticed how it brought the family together. Of course, we all having a good time. We all a little tipsy. And you know, we all, you know. And in Baltimore, we get our crabs, we get our beer, our whiskey.
Oh,
and so,
goodness. I love the energy. I love the energy here today.
as an adult, you know, he teamed up with his friends and they said, let's do this. And I love that. You know, getting into this field that not a lot of people who look like you are in, and figuring it out and forging your way through. And it's a good whiskey.
Yeah.
I actually had some during the interview.
You had some?
Not bad.
You've tasted it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was
I've had a few bottles in the tailor shop.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be sure when I come pick up my stuff there.
Hey, let's have a sip, bro.
Yeah. We can sit down.
Me with a good time.
Oh, absolutely. You know? Oh goodness. Yeah, because we can talk about the other stuff with because I need that by April 4th. You know about Art Taste?
I've been hearing about it. I need to look more into it.
Oh, well, you can go to my IG and hit my link.
Okay.
And you'll see Art Taste 2020. I'm one of the sponsors. It's going to be a good look. If you like art, you're
I love art.
Yep. See, it's about fashion.
Yeah.
It's going to be some libations there. And it's going to be a really good look. It's going to be cool. Former NFL player Aaron Maybin.
Yeah.
The homie, his work is amazing.
Yeah. So it's going to be on display the first 2 hours. So let's be sure to be there. So y'all are out of excuses because
I'll be there.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Sign me up.
All right. And then another article which I found very interesting, and actually as a result, I did start following this individual.
Okay.
And I'll say her name, Cassandra Vincent.
Yes.
Life is
Cassandra.
Full.
Yes.
Often encourage us to pause, reflect, and find our purpose.
Yes. Love Cassandra. We connected. So I love like women empowerment events and just going and connecting with different women. And I met her at one. She was actually a host. And I just loved her energy, loved her vibe. And then fast forward maybe like a year later, she was writing a book. She contacted me like, I want you to write the story. And then she had me host her book launch. And it just turned into this whole great thing. And we have an amazing connection over just positive vibes, you know, which is very, very important. And that goes back to when you asked me to describe myself, optimistic. We just clicked instantly because she had gone through a bad breakup, was down in the dumps, different stuff like that. But she got up one day and she was like, you know what, I'm good. I'm okay in the midst of this, which is, you know, any one of us sitting right here could be going through something right now, or we're getting ready to go through something, or we just went through something. So it's like, that's just life. So her book is these affirmations, and they are just beautiful and empowering and inspiring. I read the book in like a couple hours on my way to, like an hour. And then 2 hours, because on my way to DC and coming back, I was on a trip with some students last year or the year before. But yes, Cassandra is amazing. She does amazing work with the Baltimore Times as well. So follow the Baltimore Times, Community Conversations. She hosts those.
Community Conversations.
Yes, and her book is amazing. She has another book as well. So that was a great story, and we made a great connection over that story.
Yeah, I wound up following up because of that too. So plus my folks was like, oh, we should get her on a.
Yeah.
I'm blessed to be booked the next 4 months.
That's what you want, man.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
Be booked.
You ain't lying about that. You ain't lying. Okay, but yeah, that life is full. I said, oh, yeah, that was very good. And there's many more, right?
Yes.
So tell them how they can get a hold of Dareise Jones and see some of your work and follow you and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so I'm into a lot of stuff. You're going to see my travels, my writing, a little bit about education, my friends, all the wonderful things that I like to do. Sometimes I like to put things on there that are not so wonderful. I think that's important to have that balance. Everybody's not always here all the time. That's another thing about social media that gets me. Of course, you want to put your highlights, but we all go through things, and I think it's important to tell people, you know what, I struggle with this. that, and the other, and this
normal.
is how this is how I got through it.
Mhm.
Anyway, with all that said, I'm at Dareise Jones on Instagram, DAREISEJONES, and Dareise Jones on Facebook as well. And I have a website, which is DareiseJones.com.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah, we checked it out. I checked it out too.
I know y'all.
I used one of your pictures.
Homework.
Yeah, we tried.
I know.
we tried. We tried.
Yeah,
we
that's what
tried to
you're
make
supposed to
sure.
do.
Yeah.
Good.
So one of my biggest compliments. So Sanjay, hopefully I always tear her name up. She used to do 92Q, and she was on the show, and she was like, "I got to tell you, I'm impressed." After that interview, my head blew up. It did, because I was like, oh yes, you have arrived.
She's definitely the one to give you. Yeah. She's
That's good.
And then I think again, I like sometimes guests. I think again, Jason was pretty key in helping me, and he was my very first. D Chase.
Yep.
And one of my newest kind of colleagues and friends. Crazy ass Dave Cowser.
Oh man, gotta love Mr. Sensational.
Yeah, still sensational. Yes, and then there's a couple of different other promoters that really push me and support me. Because at the end of the day, we can all win, right? That's how I look. Yeah, I ain't trying to steal. Like, I don't do events. I mean, have something I might sponsor, but that's not my lane.
No doubt.
I definitely appreciate those that kind of keep me on the right. So. We got to take another break, and when we're gonna take some quick flicks just in case. But when we come back, we're gonna get into some more storytelling. We're gonna have a rich life moment in time, and we need to mention when we first met, because we didn't get to that.
Oh man,
yeah. And then we're gonna met how we first met. Do you remember?
At the Night Brunch Festival.
Yes. That was the first album. So I wasn't stalking her on Instagram or anything, but I liked her vibe. Okay. But I did. Not a lot. A few of my guests.
Whatever happened to the times when we cared for one another? We shared the same respect. What is happening? We're trading what's important for shiny things. I can't allow this blasphemy. It's blasphemy. Why would you treat yourself like that? We didn't come this far just to fall right back. Don't lose yourself, stay on track. Baby, you're a god. Baby, you're a god. Believe that. Full of the things that we've overcome. Full of unspoken battles we've won. You're so much better than that. Sometimes the truth ain't always catchy as rap. Stop chasing cheese or you'll get stuck in a trap. Go get your crown and never render it back. No. Why would you treat yourself like that? We didn't come this far just to fall right back. Baby, you're a god. You're a god. You're a god. You're a god. Baby, you're a god. You're a god. Baby, you're a god. Believe that. You're way too gifted to stop and listen. It's condescending, not to mention all of our ignorance. Is there permission to? I know you like to turn up like that. With a drink to pull up like that. Well, baby, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Just make sure the God in you stays where it's at. You're the rising sun of a new day begun. Grind on till victory's won. I pray you do your thing till earth and heaven ring. Just don't forget where you come from.
Let me talk to him. Oh, you ain't know? You ain't heard it before? That spirit you take for granted is the God of your soul. It's a price that you owe. It can never be owned. So for this valued dollar, it can never be sold. We were kings and queens in the motherland. Problem is we shouldn't have spared the rod or the father's hand. Yo, where the fathers at? Kids raising kids. So basically they never really raised but more assisted. Thrown to the system for criminal definition instead of dreaming for better and taking care of your business. I promise, we've been guys from the crib. Thing is, you can call a king a slave if he don't know who he is. Man, it's blasphemy.
Why would you treat yourself like that? Stop all that blasphemy. We didn't come this far just to fall right back. Baby, you're a god. You're a god. You're a god. You're a god. Baby, you're a god. You're a god. Baby, you're a god. God, God, God. You're a god. Baby, you're a god. Believe that.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to Living a Rich Life. Special guest Dareise Jones is still in the house.
Hey.
And we're having a good time. We had to take a pause. And so during this segment, because we got a little bit of time,
Okay.
I call it a Rich Life moment in time.
Okay.
In which I have all my guests have been on the show sign.
Okay.
So, would you do me the honor of my bad of signing? And
of course.
Feel free to write a little something. And then I usually ask that important question of what does living a rich life mean to you? So you can take your time. You can process that.
Okay.
You can find some place to sign anywhere you like, as much room as you need. Yes. This is what we do. We educate, we learn, we have fun. I gotta say, there was a lot of laughter on the show today. This was good for me.
Yes.
This is good. And wait, let me see. So we did meet for the first time at the night brunch.
Yes.
I said, come on out. And
to the Night Brunch Festival, which was amazing.
Yes, it was. Yes,
there you go. Thank you.
Oh, nice. Okay, living life to the fullest, loving life.
Yes.
Okay. You all right with me. I don't care what they say when you're not around.
I don't care what they say either.
I know that's right. Yeah. So we did have a good time at the festival, the nighttime festival. I think they're going to do that annually.
Oh,
right?
good.
Do you think? Yeah, that was a good look.
Lovely. Very nice.
They had that nice little fun booth, interactive booth.
That was cool.
Yeah. So as we talk about writing, we talk about storytelling, educator. Tell me what makes a good story in your opinion? What makes a good story?
That's a good question.
Dag, I wish I could take credit for that one. I wish I could take credit for that one. I can't take credit for that one. Shoots.
That's a really good question.
What makes a good
and
story?
you know what? When I got the notes earlier, I had to really think about that. So for me, it definitely has to be interesting. Okay, so we have Netflix, we have Hulu, we have all these different ways to get media and get stories, not just visually, but written. And you gravitate toward the things that are interesting. But once you're there, what keeps you are a couple of things. So definitely it has to be interesting and inspiring. And so what I mean by that is it could be funny, it could be serious, it could be drama, whatever. But again, written word or visual, but it's just something that connects with you.
Gotcha.
You know, so storytelling it's connection. It really is. So I'm taking you into someone else's world that you've never met. You know, and I'm giving you just bits and pieces because like I said earlier, all of those stories that I did, I had to reduce, 30 to 45 minute conversations, sometimes an hour.
Right.
To 500 words. So there's so much more, that I wish I could include. So the art is being able to just give a glimpse of that person or that particular thing that they're doing, and have it connect with other people.
Okay. So we're coming to a close.
Okay.
One, I like to thank you for having. There's so many other things that I wanted to ask, but that happens sometimes. But I'm always big on asking my team, hey, what do you think? Should we bring her back and that good stuff? So I'm sure that's something that possibly could happen.
Yeah, and you always want to have more questions. I do the same thing when I do interviews.
Exactly. See, so you know.
Have more than not enough.
So you know, because we haven't even touched. We haven't even touched maybe half of them, just because, and that's good because I like things to be organic. But I do want to thank you again for joining.
Thank you for having me.
This was definitely one of my funnest. Can I say that? No, probably not. This was more fun than
most fun. Look, I don't know everything. Funniest.
It sounds right.
Say what you want to say. It could be most funniest, the funniest, whatever.
Well, we had a good time.
Exactly.
This concludes another episode of Living a Rich Life Talk Show featuring Aaron Jones, and closing us out, special guest Dareise Jones. The Joneses were in the house. Once again, my name is Rich James. I see you next week. And we want to keep that a surprise as who's coming next week. It's going to be a very good show next week. So watch me on Instagram, Living a Rich Life _ Living a Rich Life Talk Show. Make sure you come back and check us out here on BeExposedRadio.com. Until next week, have a good evening. Good night. Yes.